Dissent and protest is nothing new in New Paltz. Back in the late 60s, I did my time up on the Hill. I was enrolled at the State Educational, Correctional, Rehabilitational, and Mental Health Facilities of SUNY New Paltz, where I majored in occupying buildings.
Where America is in, I think, probably the worst period of our lifetimes. We haven't seen anything like this since just around the time prior to World War II.
There's nothing I can say about George Bush that Maurice Hemsky and Hugo Chavez have not said more eloquently than I ever could. That when we're honest with each other, George Bush doesn't care what we say to each other today. With the exception of Maurice and John Hall's representatives, Washington isn't listening and doesn't care what we have to say here today. So at the end of the day, we're here talking to each other. But if we're going to win over the long term, if we're going to win for the rest of humanity's existence on Earth, form an organization. Create your newsletters, create our papers, and eventually, after years of struggle, we can get the millions together and have our own country.
If you want to do something to change the direction of this country, we can do it right here in the Hudson Valley. We have races right here in the Hudson Valley and elsewhere in New York, which can change the complexion, change the personality, change the direction of the Congress, give it new leadership and new people who will have that kind of courage to stand up to this administration.
Send George Bush to jail, 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 jail.
So what he and his advisors, Karl Rove and others, have put together in their initial plan was to govern by fear, to create as much fear in the hearts and minds of the American people as possible, to increase that fear over and over again, so that people out of fear will support them.
Let's hear it. Send George Bush to jail, 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 jail.
How come I don't hear about that on CNN, NBC, the New York Times? How come I don't hear about it from the Democratic leadership?
Make this administration responsible for their lies.
One question always rises to the top. Who knew what? And when did they know it?
So when the President of the United States stands up and talks about what a bad guy Saddam Hussein was and the way he treated the Shiites and the way he attacked the Kurds, we have to say to him, yes, Mr. President, he was a very bad man in that regard. But why, Mr. President, are you such a bad man in having killed more than 100,000 Iraqi civilians, most of them innocent civilians, most of them women and children? How are you going to defend that, Mr. President?
What about the election machines?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have nothing to do but to turn that around.
When I recently turned on my TV set and saw President Hugo Chavez speaking at the UN, and he compared George Bush to the devil. And I think that it's atrocious for the devil to be libeled like that.
We're going to have a nice, wild parade in town. We're going to have a really good kvetching time, okay? Yeah. So everyone needs to put on something, grab something. If you have a sign, bring your sign.
We will now teach everyone within the sound of our human vocal capabilities, the art of how to kvetch.
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 The beauty of this parade is that everybody is talking as we go. If you don't have a piece of paper, just think about what it is that bothers you the most.
1, 2, 3. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
So whatever it is that's really bothering you, you want to get vocal about it. And we want to be expressive. We want to go into town and be a bit wild. Very good. You don't need any more training. Let's go.
Because we were fertile ground for Bush.
I seized the throne whose rightful heir was gone. On November 2nd, 2000, I usurped the throne whose rightful heir was gone. I left no child behind. I shipped them overseas to fight a war.
Nobody knows where Osama been hiding. Press conferences keep on lying like we don't know, so we keep it on till you're coming home.
Barbie and Ken. Vintage Barbie and
I'm gonna give myself a hug, yeah.
This battle line is being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong.
Well, Bush, baby, you may have $1 million and you may drive a Cadillac. You may have all the money when you stop the oil out of a rag. Oh, yeah, rich you are. I won't even care what you're worth. 'Cause when it all goes down, you got to go back to mother. Oh, take me back, please.